Where are we? Do you think the whole Iran conflict is providing some kind of opportunity to reset and move on to the next things? Or is this a lingering story, in your opinion?
Well, it's clearly a huge geopolitical event with potentially huge geopolitical ramifications. This could, if it goes well for the U.S. and Israel and the other implicit allies in the region, then Iran will be finally defanged. Their support for terrorism around the region will disappear. Their ambitions for nuclear technology will disappear. But that, again, assumes that this all goes according to plan. And the problem with wars is you get into the fog of war and you never know exactly how things will develop. My opinion, from what I've observed, and I'm certainly no military expert, is that Iran has lost. However, they haven't realized that yet. The Iranian command system has been annihilated, and now we've got a lot of brigades launching missiles and drones kind of willy-nilly. So that's creating a lot of chaos there. But yeah, I think this will not be a long war. I think it's going to be a short war, a few weeks, and I think the stock market will anticipate that, look beyond it, and look for opportunities. We may have seen some of that today. The market was down dramatically in the United States early in the day, and then recovered quite a bit. And it started to recover even before President Trump announced that the U.S. will provide insurance and naval protection for seagoing vessels in the Strait of Hormuz.
The insurance backup right from the president, certainly that should help to bring down skyrocketing shipping costs. But, you know, we'll have to see how it's funded, I think. Sure. It's something I've been thinking about. But broadly, Ed, you know, the president's been talking about this conflict or this war possibly going past 4 weeks. And time is important. Midterms are in November. Voting probably starts properly in September, so there's not a lot of time. And I note here that one key metric that you'll be aware of and familiar with, and which is also politically important, the price of gasoline. The average price of gas right now is up above $3 a gallon. That's the highest it's been in about 3 months. So if this war stretches out, goes past 4 weeks, if not longer, the president's got a problem.
Absolutely. It's all about time, as you say. If this can be ended within the next 4 weeks, that would be the ideal scenario. Short war, regime change, new policies coming out of Iran, geopolitical risk greatly reduced in the Middle East. But, you know, sometimes wishful thinking works, sometimes it doesn't. And it's really conceivable that it does last longer. The longer that it lasts, clearly, the more that the surge in oil prices gets into inflation and depresses the economy, kind of a 1970s stagflation sort of scenario. And then the Fed is kind of stuck in a hard place because if inflation is going up, they should be raising interest rates. But if the economy is getting weaker, they should be lowering interest rates. So it kind of it takes the power of the Fed away from really dealing with this. And then here in the U.S., we also have concerns about the private credit markets, which could also be stressed by a weaker economy. So the longer this lasts, the more negative it becomes for the U.S. economy and more bearish it becomes for the stock market. So investors have to take a position here. I would stay with equities. I think that some of these sell-offs are in fact opportunities because I don't think it's going to be a long war. Iran is pretty much fighting it on its own, and I think we may very well see some boots on the ground to deal with whatever is left of the ragtag Revolutionary Guard and the damage they're causing.
Really? Boots on the ground? Because that would be, I mean, that would be crossing a huge red line, not just for the president,
well, the
but
president,
for his MAGA base.
I'm not recommending it. I'm not making it up. The president said it today that he won't rule out boots on the ground. And the scenario in which I could see that happening would be one where the Iranian government just doesn't exist and there is no command and control. And so even if you got somebody in Tehran to start to talk to us, that wouldn't necessarily mean that that person would be in a position to deal with the Revolutionary Guard. So that's an issue.
And with boots or no boots on the ground, I feel like the market is trying to find reasons to fade the geopolitical risk of premium right now. Would you agree with that behavior, and what happens to the energy trade?
Well, again, in a short war scenario, the energy price, oil prices would be coming down pretty sharply because there is plenty of oil around. It's just blockaded by the uncertainties of what kind of damage the Iranians can still do to shipping in the Straits of Hormuz. If in fact we find that ships are able to get through there without any problems whatsoever, then the price of oil will come down, and the perception will be that that risk, and that's really the major risk for the global economy, has been dealt with. But then again, going back to our just previous discussion, Iran is a terrorist state. It's got the risk is that it reverts into an outright terrorist state, that there is no government, but there are a lot of terrorist cells continuing to create problems in the Strait and other places around the world.
And your outlook for this year, or your position recommendation for this year, was underweighting MAX 7s and overweighting international, the rest of the world.
International.
The rest of the world hurts so bad. I mean, South Korea is a great example. I know that you're paying attention to some of the EM markets like that. Do you see that as an opportunity to add more to international?
I do. I do. I mean, I think if this lasts more than 4 weeks, we're talking about a few months. We're not talking about a year. And I think the opportunities to invest on a global basis is presenting itself now. And I think you saw some dip buying today. I mean, it felt like more than a dip, of course. But I do think that this too shall pass, and it won't take that long. And as a result of that, I think that global economy will be resilient enough, as it has been for a while, along with the U.S. economy, that earnings will grow and the stock markets will make a comeback.